And on to the details now. The fragile truce between Iran and the United States has entered the second day on Thursday, with Tehran threatening to resume hostilities as Israel launched strikes on Lebanon. The deal's fractures emerged quickly on Wednesday as Israel carried out its heaviest strikes on Lebanon, including in densely packed central Beirut. According to Lebanese Health Ministry, more than 250 people were killed and nearly 900 wounded on Wednesday. The death toll continues to rise as the Israeli airstrike continues. Meanwhile, Lebanon's Hezbollah said early on Thursday it fired rockets at northern Israel in its first attack against the country. Hezbollah said in a statement that its attack came in response to Israeli ceasefire violations. Iran's Revolutionary Guards warned the U.S. and Israel it would deliver a regret-inducing response if attacks on Lebanon did not stop, while Hezbollah said it had a right to respond. Also, Israeli army spokesperson said that the area south of the Litani River is disconnected from Lebanon and that operations are ongoing to keep it demilitarized. Israel has issued evacuation orders covering around 15% of Lebanese territory since then, mostly in the south and in suburbs south of Beirut. Well, the two-week ceasefire between the United States and Iran has halted U.S.-Israeli attacks on Iran after 40 days. Now, the negotiations are expected to begin in Islamabad on Saturday. Will test whether this truce can be converted into a more durable arrangement. But there seems to be some confusion regarding the terms of the negotiations as Washington and Tehran remain poles apart on what they view as a comprehensive agreement. U.S. President Donald Trump said talks would be held behind closed doors and only one group of meaningful points were acceptable to the United States, but gave no other details about the negotiations. In an interview, Trump also said that he expects talks to move very quickly. And Iran's parliament speaker Mohammad Baghir Ghalibaf has said that three key clauses of a 10-point proposal were violated before negotiations set to start. Ghalibaf added that in such a situation, a bilateral ceasefire or negotiations were unreasonable. In a post on X, he said that the breaches included the violation of a ceasefire in Lebanon, the entry of an intruding drone into Iranian airspace, and the denial of Iran's right to uranium enrichment. As per the reports, Ghalibaf, along with Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, will head to Islamabad for negotiations. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israel still had more goals to achieve, warning it was ready to renew fighting at any moment. He also said during a news conference that enriched uranium will be removed from Iran either by agreement or by force. Earlier on Wednesday, Netanyahu's office released a statement saying Israel supports U.S. President Trump's decision to suspend strikes against Iran for 2 weeks, but said the ceasefire does not include Lebanon.
We have more goals to complete, and we will achieve them either by an agreement or by renewing the fighting. We are prepared to return to fighting at any moment necessary. Our fingers is on the trigger. I insisted that temporary ceasefire with Iran would not include Hezbollah, and we continue to strike it hard.
And DD India's Akshay Tongre joins us for more on the situation. Well, Akshay, with the US-Iran ceasefire already showing signs of strain, key disagreements over its scope, especially regarding Lebanon and the upcoming talks in Islamabad, what's your take on the entire fragile situation right now?
Well, Lipakshi, it's too difficult to now take any kind of, have an opinion on any kind of situation that's evolving in West Asia because of how quickly it's evolving.
Yes.
The situation is getting worse within 24 hours of the implementation of the ceasefire. Now what we are seeing is wide-ranging attacks on Lebanon, over 250 killed, over 1,000 injured, and this toll is only going to rise because key disagreements have emerged within 24 hours as far as the ceasefire plan is concerned. Uh, Israel again, threatening with consequences with the reopening up of the conflict is just another straw in this
Right.
entire catastrophe that has wreaked havoc in the region. But we also have to see that whether the talks in Islamabad are going to yield any result to conclusively say that the ceasefire has failed. As of now, there is still hope that the countries will maintain it. But the way Israel has launched an all-out offensive against Lebanon clearly does not do well for the reputation of the country, especially given the fact that the world grows tired of this conflict that has disturbed the global economy, not just in our region but in the entire world. We are seeing Europe facing crisis of different sort. We are Asia facing crisis of different sort. Then there are African countries who are facing shortage of food supplies, and so on. So. This war fatigue that has already started to kick in gave a really good sentiment both in the markets and other areas as well, where there was some hope that the conflict will get over. But now with these kind of extensive attacks just within 24 hours is really damaging to the global economy once again.
Absolutely right. Global economy is absolutely shaken. In fact, how significant is the situation in the Strait of Hormuz with Iran issuing alternative shipping routes and warning of sea mine risks? And what could this mean for the global oil supply stability?
Can you repeat the last part of your question, Dipakshi?
I was saying with Iran now talking about Hormuz and about the situation, the shipping routes being, alternative shipping routes being given by Iran. What is the situation? What can we expect out there? And what is it? How can we see the global oil stability now?
Well, the alternative route are being talked about because of the mining, the laying of mines that has been done by Iran to prevent ships from crossing the Strait of Hormuz. So Bab Mandab or other shipping routes, maybe alternate shipping routes may be given by Iran to support the removal of these mines. But if the situation remains like this, if the conflict opens once again within 24 hours, then it's highly unlikely that any kind of significant change will happen in the Strait of Hormuz as far as passing of the ships are concerned. That means that the energy crisis that we were staring at till yesterday is still there, and it still remains unresolved. So the situation will take a U-turn from here as far as the hopes are concerned from the markets that were showing positive sentiments that finally the war is getting over, some peace is appearing on the horizon. But that seems to be a mirage as of now, because the main parties that are in the conflict are not serious about any sort of peacemaking solution as of now.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Akshay, for all those in details.